September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and this is one of those causes that I am guilty as the next guy for not being all over it 12 months out of the year. I think it's got to be given a lot of attention, not just in Awareness Month, but every month of the year because it's an important cause. So in this video, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm not going to give you the tutorial step by step. I'm using a Dizzy Dot design like the one I did last year, as you can see above. And if you want to learn how to do the Dizzy Dot design with a step-by-step explanation, I have the link to that video in the description of this video and also up in the corner for you to visit so that you can get the step-by-step tutorial part on the rock painting piece. But instead, I wanted to use the few minutes that I've got with you to talk about what suicide prevention awareness means for the everyday person like you and I. Unfortunately, I think almost everyone has been touched by suicide. Even if it was a few degrees away from you, you might have known someone or known a family member who experienced the loss of another person in their life. I think we've made great strides in having resources and trying to break down some of the stigmas, but I'm not sure that this is ever an area where we're going to say we're done. We've done enough. It's good enough. We're stopping. It's always going to be an active fight to protect mental health and to help people choose life. I think one of our biggest victories is the 988 emergency helpline for anyone to call and get help when they are in crisis. Is a huge step into providing a very easy and free resource to people that need help. But I also think we as individuals have a responsibility as part of the human race to be kind and to check on people. When something is off, we need to check on people and reach out and make sure they're okay. And one of the most challenging pieces of this, that is one of the pieces of advice that gets thrown around a lot with suicide prevention awareness, is to check on your happy friends. Check on the people that seem like they've got everything together, because sometimes there's something going on below the surface. And I think this is something that we struggle with because it's just a stereotype to assume that someone who is presenting as happy, presenting as if they have, everything going well or they've got their stuff together, that they're fine. It's an assumption, and it's an unfair assumption. And it also makes it kind of uncomfortable for us to check on them. How do you ask someone who's seemingly okay, are you okay? How are you doing? And I think that's where kindness comes in. I think building our relationships with our friends and family where we can become more in tune with the things that might be off, and to be able to ask that question out of the blue and be like, hey, you doing okay? Is there anything you need to talk about? And creating that open space where people can open up if maybe there is something really deep under the surface that they're afraid of. That's one of the pieces of advice around suicide prevention awareness that I struggle with the most, because I think of, gosh, I probably need to ask a ton of people how they're doing. And maybe that's part of what social media has deteriorated in our lives, is that we don't talk as much. We don't have coffee as much or hang out or go for a walk or whatever those in-person, face-to-face interactions are. We need to have those, and we need to build those relationships that's not behind a screen. If that's all we have, that's all we have is behind the screen, and we can reach out and try and do our best there. But I think for me, that's going to be one of my big goals, is trying to build more face-to-face time in. It's especially important with the youth, I think, because it's so easy for them to get just zombied out on these devices. I saw a phrase the other day that said, tech out and check in. So instead of check out, it's tech out, like put the tech away and check in. The idea behind Kindness Rocks Brightening the Day of a Stranger is a way that we can check in and have an impact on a stranger's life without even realizing it. And to that end, I was inspired by some Dear Stranger Behind Me hoodies that I saw online. And I like it because it's kind of a more pointed, obvious way of providing a similar message to Kindness Rocks, but it's not hidden. So if you'd like to check out the design I created, there are links in the description below the video and at the end of the video, so you can check that out if you're interested. But at the very minimum, we can tech out and check in. We can smile at strangers. We can hold a door open. We can check in on our friends and family, whether they seem to have it all together or maybe are struggling a little bit. We can reach out and be an open ear and an open heart for them. And what better way to honor the memory of those who left us too soon because their pain was too great? Keep fighting, kindness warriors. You are making a difference in this world. We never know the battles that people are fighting, and our simple acts of kindness can make a huge difference. Thank you so much for stopping by to watch. Keep spreading that kindness, and I'll see you next time. Take care.